Hi beautiful people, welcome to this space. Today I'll be making a short pant. It's going to be one that has elastic, and that's so sort of a free pant. So let's get right into it. First, I'm going to be marking out the length of my short. The length of my short is going to be 16 inches. So the distance from here to this point is 16 inches, and from here to this point is 18 inches. So what I have here is 2 inches for hemming allowance. So let's get right into it. This line I drew here is sort of to give like a space. I don't want to be marking directly on the edge of the pattern paper. So since I won't be marking directly on the edge of the pattern paper, I decided to come in here by half an inch. This doesn't really count, but for clarity purpose. So first off, I'm going to input my crouch measurements. I'm going to be using crouch. I'm going to be calculating my crouch measurements is by this pant is basically a size 8. So I'm going to roughly calculate it because I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to measure the clients, and especially if you are into like ready to wear, you might want to consider using these calculations. So what I'm going to be doing is my hip measurements divided by 4. In this case, the hip measurement for a size 8 is around 38 inches. So hip measurement divided by 4 is around 9.5. And then 9.5, I'm going to be adding 1.5 to it, which is going to be 11 inches. So my crouch measurement for this pant is going to be 11 inches with the it's band inclusive. I'm just going to cut out the band from this piece. So let's jump right into it. So at this point, I'm going to impute 11 inches here, and the hip line of this particular pant is going to be at 9 inches. 9 inches. I'm going to try to make it as simple and very basic as I can. So when I put in that, at this point I have my crotch, and here I have my hip measurement. So what I'm going to do is, because this is sort of going to be a pant with an elastic waist, I'm going to input my hip measurement at my waistline. This is my waistline. And 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. I'm going to put 9.5 here. I'm also going to come here and put 9.5 at my, okay, 9.5 here. And also at the crotch measurement, I'm going to put 9.5. 9.5. You can leave your concerns for me in the comment section. I'm sort of new to all of this, so in case there's anything you would like me to improve on or like lay more emphasis on, it would be very much appreciated. So right here now, because I don't want a situation whereby the front is looking so bulky, or usually the front waistline, I want the front waistline to be sort of smaller and then I want the concentration of the excess to be at the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to take away 1 inch, about 1 inch from here. So what 1 inch that I took away from here, I'm going to be sure to add it back at the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and connect it straight up. You can use the curved side of your ruler, but mine is having issues, so I'd rather use this then. So this is what I have, and then for the crotch extension, I'm going to divide what I have here at the crotch extension, this piece, which is 9.5 divided by 4. That should give me around, so my crotch measurement divided by what I have at the crotch, which is 9.5 here, I'm going to divide it by 4, and divided by 4 is going to give me around 2.25. So I'm going to put that here as my crotch extension. So what I'm going to do is take this my curve ruler and connect that point to my hip line like this. Some people like to measure this part to be sure that it's up to 1 inch, but I think I'm fine. It's around, just so it's not too tight on the crotch, but I don't think I'll have such issues, so we're just fine. So right here now, because this is going to be a free pant and we don't really need to put time measurement, so what I'm going to do is, just to create some sort of smart look, I'm just going to come here 0.25 here, and then I'm also going to come to this side and take away about 0.25. You can leave it like this, or you can just put that just to sort of make it look smart, or you can take away up to ½ inch depending on what you want. I just want mine to be a bit smart, so I'm just going to connect those points together. I'm going to connect it to my crotch measurements. So this side is given like, okay, this is what I have. For the band, I'm going to measure about 1.5 here and 1.5 here. So this part, I'm going to cut this part off. This is going to be my band. If you want that curvy part, you want it to sit very well on your waistline, you can also come down here by about ½ inch. In that case, you have to still go down here by ½ inch, as if you want that curvy effect, which to sit perfectly on your waistline. you can use this cuff pad, but I don't really want to do that because this is sort of, I want this to be very, free, a very easy and relatable tutorial. I don't want it to get too complex. So what I'm going to do is connect that point like this. So this is now going to be my, I'm going to erase this part. Okay. I think you should always use pencil when you're drafting your pattern, just in case you change your mind at any point and want to reconstruct or adjust, make some adjustments. You don't have to completely condemn your progress so far. This should do just fine. So I'm just going to cut all of this off, and when you're cutting this part, you have to fold it so that the pattern does not come out looking funky. You have to fold this part like this. First, you cut off this part. This part is not included. This part is just, this is the hemming allowance. So I'm just going to fold this up. Like this, and then I'm going to trim this part away, and I'm going to cut out all of this pattern, and we go straight into drafting the back pattern. So right here I have the paper that I already cut out for the back pattern. So I'm just going to show you how it goes. I'm just going to remove my pins. I used pins to hold it in place because I wouldn't want my pattern to be moving around, but I already made the markings. If you look here, you see the hip, crotch, this is the hemline, this is the length of the pants, and this 2 inches is going to be the hemline for this. So I'm just going to pin this back carefully so that it still sits at my supposed markings. So now that I've pinned all of that up, I'm going to come down at this my crotch measurement by 0.25, and then I'm going to mark 1 inch. I came down by 0.25 here, and then I'm going to mark 1 inch from this point to be sure that it's actually up to 1 inch from here. Like that. So when I've done that, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of look for, using this ruler. I don't want this to be complex. I really want it to be as easy as it looks. I'm just going to look for angle 90 at this point. Angle 90. I don't know if you can see the circle, this whole compass part of my ruler. I'm going to turn it like this so it looks easier. So this is 45 degrees, and this is like about angle 90, right? So this point, I'm going to just turn it like this. I'm looking for like the easiest way to explain this. So I'll place it like this point, this is my angle 90, like so, around here, right? Or I can also do like this. I can go about it like this by placing it here. I'm just going to place that, this point. I don't know if you guys can see this clearly, but this point here, and this is supposed to be my angle 90. So here, right, at this point, that can work, and this can also work. So either ways, or you just roughly just put this here and just sort of put it in a slant manner, so it looks, when you look at it like this, it looks like angle 90. I don't know if that makes sense, but just mark that point. Or you can also go up from your hip line, you go up like about 2.25 from that point. If you don't know how to go about the whole angle 90 stuff, you can just do 2.25 here, and then at that 2.25, you just make like a dotted line, then you come inwards from that point. You come inwards by about let's say about half inch is okay. Half inch is generally okay, or you can do less, but let me just do half inch. Half inch is just fine at this point now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, my curved ruler, and I'm sort of going to curve this point, my 1 inch point. From this point, I'm going to take it like this. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I'm just going to go like this, like so. Yeah. And then from this point, this is where the original this thing is meant to be. The original waistline is meant to be. I'm just going to come inward from that point by about 1 inch, right? 1 inch, and I'm going to use this straight ruler, this straight part of my ruler, to just do something like this. You can go inwards by 1.5 inch depending on how curvy you are, but I think 1 inch generally is always fine. 1 inch is okay. So this is what you will have at the end of the day, this curved line, because I wouldn't want when I'm sitting or bending my my backside to show. I would go up here by about 1 inch. 1 inch. So this, I'm just going to extend this line to 1 inch like this, right? Now here, this is what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to explain this as simple as I can. I don't know if my camera can capture all of this because I'm literally filming with my phone. So here at this point, I'm working with my hip. Remember, this is going to be an elastic waist, so I'm going to put my hip measurement at my waist point, and I'm also going to put my sewing allowance that will also cover for the front and the back sewing allowance, and also I'm going to replace the 1 inch I took away from here. So that would be about, I have 9.5. I'm going to just cover towards this part, this line, Originally I have 9.5, then I'm going to add 2 inches to that 9.5, which is going to be around 11.5. That will serve as my stitching allowance for the front and the back. And then I'm going to add 1 inch back, which is going to be around 20.5. Okay, you can see that what I have here now is not enough for that, but I'm just going to measure it like that. That's why I said, okay, that's why I said you need to have enough space for here. You know, you can make it 5 inches when you're drafting your own pattern. So what this would do for me, I'm just going to do 12.5 here. If you look closely, you can see that it's 12.5, but you know, it's almost not getting to that 12, but I'm just going to make do with what I have here. 12.5, I'm just going to start all of that. I don't know. Okay. Like so, like this. When you do this, you're going to have a pattern that, you know, sits perfectly on you, regardless of, you know, if it's elastic or. So what I have here now is 12.5. So what I'm going to do now is just to come to this point, put 1 inch here, since I'm sharing the allowance on, I'm going to be putting the allowance on both sides. So what I'm going to do also at this point is also to input 1 inch. Note, I'm measuring from the edge of the front pattern. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm measuring from the edge of the front pattern. That's why you can't completely take off this, because this is supposed to be like a guide for you. So you just connect these points together like so, like this, and then this point is going to look funny, right? But it's going to come out nice. Trust me when I say that. It's going to look funny. You can place it like this if you want, and then connect to the waist and all of that, but for me, I will just do this instead. I'm just going to take this and go back like this. It's looking funny, right? The pattern looks sort of funny, but this pattern will give you a designer fit. Trust me, it will give you a designer fit. So at this point, I'm going to just take this up. First, let's cut this hemline. Let's cut this out. When you're cutting your patterns, you don't want to completely cut away the lines, so you just cut closely, as close as possible to the lines, you know, without actually cutting off the line. So this is what I have. Okay, I'm just going to try tilting my camera to be able to capture all of that. That. Okay, this is what I have here at the moment. So I'm just going to clean off the markings and the lines that I don't need. That is what drafting with a pencil means. It means that I can erase what I don't need and leave what I need. So this is what I have for my back pattern. It looks funny, but this will give you the best result. But be sure that when you're placing on your fabric that this doesn't tilt like this, because you're going to have a funny looking outfit. So you just have to make sure that this sits directly on a straight line like this when you're cutting it on your fabric. Also for this, ensure that the hemline is as straight as possible. You don't use the upper part to figure out where you make sure that this line, you can draw a straight line on your fabric and place this directly on that straight line to be sure that you have a pattern that is sitting perfectly before you cut out. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, or I can as well film the cutting process of when I'm about to use this pattern to make an outfit. So also I'm going to sort of, remember I said I'm going to be cutting out my bands from my patterns so that I have a band that is sitting perfectly where I want it to sit. So I'm going to take 1.5 and then I'm going to come here also and measure 1.5 here. So I'm going to connect those 2 points, that way I have a straight perfect looking pattern. So I have 1.5 inch band, remember size 8. So I'm going to cut this out when I'm ready to make the outfit. And also this, this is what we have. Looks funny, but trust me, if you followed this tutorial very well and you sew this outfit the way you're meant to sew it, you're going to have your shirt looking like a designer fit. Literally, that's what you're going to have. You can even do an elastic waist at the back, and then this can be just normal band. It's going to look like it has no band in front, and the back is going to have an elastic for you to be able to fit into it, and you will love it, trust me. If you follow this tutorial up until this point, you might want to hit on the subscribe button, because I have loads and loads of tutorials coming up if I'm encouraged. Thank you.